Ended up crashing out of both, so he's ninth in the championship, looking to try and make up for that here today at Snettertone. The good news is it's looking like a completely dry race here. Weather conditions look pretty set for the day. A few clouds in the sky, but it's nice and sunny. Typical breeze here that you always get at Snettertone in Norfolk. As we get ready then for action, it will be a 14-lap race for the British Talent Cup. Of course, this series, if you're joining for the first time, for riders aged between 12 and 17 from the British Isles, all of them on identical machinery, the Honda NSF 250R. This is Jack Nixon. Nixon had a good day yesterday. Number 2 is what he sports at the front of his Honda, just missing out on a podium place, and Nixon has lifted himself up into 4th overall in the championship. And here is Torren Collins riding in the British Talent Cup. Brilliant result for him yesterday, 7th, a season best. He starts from 5th on the grid. Born in Canada, actually. His parents are English, but they work and live out in Canada, so he's constantly flying over to race in this series. But he seems to like this Snettertone circuit. And what does today hold for Cameron Horseman? 2nd place now in the last 3 races. Podiums in 6 of the 7 races so far in 2019. He's 17 points down on Scott Ogden. He actually said yesterday in his post-race interview, I was so surprised when I saw Scott Ogden appear in the battle for the podium. He said, I just knew I had to beat him. And here's Brian Hart. So unfortunate yesterday. Brian Hart, who got a podium at the start of the championship at Silverstone, right at the start of the season. And looked like he could be on for one yesterday, and unfortunately just going down as they made their way into Brundle Corner. Just underneath the bridge there at the end of the Bentley Straight, there was a bit of a river running across, and that caught Brian Hart out under brakes. And here is Fenton Seabright. Well, can anyone catch him here this weekend? Got a bit of a job to do in terms of the championship. A couple of DNFs so far this year for Fenton Seabright, but there are 3 outstanding riders in this championship: Ogden, Horseman and Seabright. They're the only 3 riders that have won races in this championship. It looks as though they're the only 3 riders that really are in contention for the British Talent Cup. 49 points adrift is Seabright. 5 races to go, including this one today, as the BMW roars away then from the start-finish line. That means there are 5 minutes to go until we begin the warm-up lap here at Snettertone. So Seabright will start from pole position alongside Scott Swan. Scott Swan, a little mistake yesterday in the race, number 20 there, 2nd on the grid, just meant that he was out of contention, but he stuck in the 2nd fastest lap of the race, so he'll be hoping that he can maybe bring something to the party. Can anyone catch Seabright though? He was 13 seconds clear of everyone yesterday in the race, and his qualifying time as well was 1.3 seconds clear. Joining Fenton Seabright and Scott Swan on the front row, then we saw Brian Hart already. Cameron Horseman will be starting from 4th on the grid, the rider 2nd in the championship. Then Torren Collins and Jack Nixon. 3rd row features Jack Hart, Charlie Farrer and Ross Maguire, who we saw a little earlier on. Then it's Jamie Davis, Ed O'Shea, Harry Lee on row 4, Charlie Atkins, Jamie Lyons and Zach Shelton on row 6. Claridge, Rhys Irwin and Corey Tinker, and then of course on the back row Scott Ogden and Osham Jones. So keep an eye out for the championship leader Ogden, number 4. Brilliant starter, been on the podium for every single race so far in 2019, and has won a race at every event that we've been at so far. We inch closer then to action here at Snettertone. Slick tyres, the order of the day, of course. They're not allowed to actually make any major technical changes to the bikes. All changes that are made by the technicians here at British Talent Cup are the same for all riders. The only thing that differs really are the initial suspension settings, depending on a rider's weight and their riding style, etc. So the Hondas are started up here, 20 riders on the grid. The winner of the British Talent Cup, looks like there's a seat in the FIMCEV Junior World Championship for that rider going into next year. Part of Dorna's Road to MotoGP programme. Of course, the British Talent Cup will undergo a few changes next year. It will become a 20-race championship. It will be following the British Superbike Championship around in 2000. 2020 and beyond, after agreement between Dornan Sports and, of course, MSVR. So away they go then to begin their warm-up lap here. Fenton Seabright just tipping it in, getting a good chance. Let's see if he can be as dominant in the dry as he was yesterday in the wet, and just make their way up towards Wilson Corner, the corner that was changed in terms of its name a few years ago in memory, of course, of the late Justin Wilson, the IndyCar driver who sadly passed away. Used to be known as Montreal Corner. Then into the left-hander here at Oggies. This, of course, the Snettertone 300 circuit layout, 3-mile circuit, up towards Agostini. Great overtaking opportunity. And then around back on themselves as they head up towards Hamilton. And then you can just see here nearest to us the Bentley Straight, which they'll be making their way around onto in a moment. Oggies, Williams, and then onto that back straight. Crucial to get the drive onto the back Bentley Straight, of course, if you want to try and open up the opportunity to overtake into Brundle Corner, formerly known as the Rivet Straight, this one, and then into the S's, but of course now known as the Bentley Straight, heading into Brundle and Nelson. Fenton Seabright then starting from pole position, looking to make it 3 wins on the trot. And if he can leave here and head into the Czech Republic in 2 weeks' time, with the gap in the championship, let's say under 40, that would be a pretty good place to be for Seabright. He'd still just have that outside chance. The problem for him is, of course, that Scott Ogden is just so consistent. He's been on the podium in every race so far, the number 4, but again, he has to work from 4th place. And I do wonder whether, in the dry conditions, it's going to be more difficult for Scott Ogden to plough his way through the field. But we will see in just a moment. Number 12 there, making his way around onto the Stuffing Straight, is Torren Collins, the 13-year-old. We've never seen any of these circuits before, of course, coming over from Canada. You can see there just warming the tyres up is Cameron Horseman, number 23. Just a 1 DNF to his name so far in 2019. You could argue that it was pretty costly because he was in podium contention. There would have probably only been just 1 or 2 points in it in this British Talent Cup Championship were it not for that crash at Donington Park a couple of months ago. They head over towards the grid now. British Talent Cup then, round 4 here at Snettertone in Norfolk. 7 races gone, 5 races to go. Fenton Seabright on pole position, looking to make it back-to-back wins here at Snettertone. 2nd on the grid for Scott Swan, 3rd for Brian Hart. The green flag waves at the back of the grid. That means we're ready for action. Look to the light in the top left corner and keep an eye on Scott Ogden on the far right at the back as well. Away we go. Good start that from number 20, Scott Swan. He seemed to get away pretty well from the line, but it is immediately Fenton Seabright who's trying to defend that position. Good start also from Brian Hart. He goes up into 2nd, but it is Seabright then who will take the advantage. He gets the whole shot as they head up towards Wilson Corner. He's taking a defensive line immediately into there as well, so he'll hold on to 1st place for now. Brian Hart, though, who crashed out of 2nd yesterday, is up to 2nd. Just looking a bit further back to see where Scott Ogden is. He's made up a couple of places, but not quite as great start as he made yesterday. Just see there, good move coming in from Lyons, number 6. They all try and filter into position. There is Ogden. He's just actually got cut off slightly there, but it looks like he's already into points positions. So there is Ogden. He's in 15th right now. He's just up behind Harvey Claridge, number 13. So we'll monitor the progress of Scott Ogden throughout this one. But at the front, it is Fenton Seabright, number 22, from number 9, Brian Hart. Just behind them then, Cameron Horseman, number 23. 2nd in the championship, 17 points down. He knows how important this race could be in the context of the British Talent Cup Championship for 2019. Then they make their way around at Williams Corner onto the Bentley Straight, and Seabright will hold that advantage surely as they head into Brundle Corner. It's a long straight this on a Honda Moto3 machine. Brian Hart does just come out of the slipstream to have a look. Fenton Seabright Manages to go through though, he is out front. Just behind them is Jack Nixon, number 2. Scott Ogden just trying to settle into this one. He's not made any progress on the last couple of corners. He remains then the championship leader in 15th place. As we suspected, it's looking like it's going to be a little bit more difficult in these dry conditions for him to do his business. As Cameron Horseman, he's got so much speed around Coram curve, and he thought about a move up the inside there into Murray. It's not going to stick there. Onto the start finish straight. Who's that on the grass? That's some 12. That's Taron Collins. Unfortunately for him, that's not the fastest route around Murray's. He shakes his head angrily as he loses out on a bunch of places. He was in 7th place at that particular time, but it's Seabright who will lead across the line to begin lap 2 from Hart, Horseman, Nixon, Swan, Charlie Farron, Jack Hart, Ed O'Shea, Charlie Atkins and Rhys Irwin in 10th. Into Wilson Corner we go. Seabright will probably be keeping a close eye on his pit board here in this race. In the damp conditions, he's in a league of his own, but there haven't actually been too many dry sessions for these guys. Cameron Horseman there will be eager to try and get onto the tail of Fenton Seabright. He won't be too upset if Seabright goes on to win this race. For him, the priority is staying in front of Scott Ogden. Ogden crossed the line in 13th, so he's made up a couple of places. Further back, you can just see there Nixon, number 2, ahead of Charlie Farrer. Good start for Farrer. So he's made up a couple of places already. Jack Hart just behind them as well. Fenton Seabright then already looking now to try and stretch out his advantage. He was just under 2/10 clear across the line. It already looks like it's a good 4 or 5 tenths now as they make their way onto the back straight. There is number 15, that's Rhys Irwin. He's in 9th, and there is Scott Ogden just trying to make his way through on Taron Collins, who made that mistake a moment ago on the grass. That is the battle a bit further back for 12th and 13th. It's a bit tight through there for Rhys Irwin. He just manages to stay ahead of Hart. Number 8 going through there, Ed O'Shea. So Ogden really needs to get to the front of that group, because the first pack seems to be just drifting away already. Scott Ogden's 100% podium record under threat here at the front. Still Seabright that leads, and it's now Horseman up to 2nd. He's got past Brian Hart. So on to the start-finish straight we go. Horseman trying to get his claws into the outstanding talent this weekend. There is Farrer just up ahead of number 20, Scott Swan. Across the line we go. The fastest lap of the race to Cameron Horseman in 2nd place at 2:03.5. What a moment it would be for Cameron Horseman to pick up 25 points here with his championship rival buried down the order at the moment in 11th place, although Ogden has just picked off another couple of riders, although he's 5.5 seconds off the leading pack. Here is Seabright then that leads, and he's got company. Horseman really now just starting to eat into that gap at the front, and it looks like he's going to make his move. What's happened here? There's a couple of riders that have gone down. 21 has gone down there. That's Maguire, and it looks like Ocean Jones maybe. We'll have to look and see who that is in a moment, but hopefully riders are okay. So 21 Maguire definitely is one of the riders that's gone down. Could be number 6 actually, Lyons it is. I think number 6 Lyons has gone down as well. Let's have a look and see what happened here. Then it's tight into Wilson Corner, of course, and just in the background there 3 riders actually potentially involved in that one, both going down. Looks like they're okay. One of them hurting, certainly is hit there, but hopefully all okay. At the front of this race, though, this is the battle for the lead. It's Fenton Seabright who was in front, but now Cameron Horseman leads. And so for the first time here this weekend, we have a new race leader. Cameron Horseman goes through on Fenton Seabright, who already tries to get on the gas early up towards the bomb hole. In 3rd place, Brian Hart can't quite stay in touch with the top 2 right now. Scott Ogden, championship leader. He's made another couple of places up. He's up into 9th now. But Ogden crucially looking to try and close down that gap outright. Cameron Horseman is still out front, so up onto the start-finish straight we go, and these two are starting to pull away. Charlie Farrer has made excellent progress, number 19. He's now up into 3rd place. Farrer, who is widely picked by a number of people in the paddock to be a big prospect and a rider who perhaps should pick up 1 or 2 more podiums. He's now up into 3rd as Seabright pounces once more into turn 1. So it's between Seabright and Horseman These two, third and second, respectively, in the championship right now. Ogden went across the line, by the way, in 8th that time around, but he's 6 seconds off. His chances of podium look slim right now, although it's that group in front of him that he needs to try and catch. I can't see him being able to hunt down these two out front. He's just at the front, somewhere near the front of that third group, if you like. Farrer it is that's in 3rd place. Then it's these three: Nixon, number 2, number 20, Swan, number 9, Hart, and then this group here, number 15, Rhys Irwin, and Scott Ogden in 8th. So even if he gets past Rhys Irwin, he's got a job on lap 4 of 14 to try and close down the group for a top 6 finish. There could be a lot of points lost here for Scott Ogden. Every position at the moment equals a point to try and limit the damage done to him by these two out front. This would really, really close the championship up as things stand right now. Seabright and Horseman then going head-to-head, standing toe-to-toe on the Bentley Straight as they head into Brundle Corner, and again, just with a nice squeezed block pass through, there goes number 23, Cameron Horseman on Fenton Seabright. Seabright then looking for as many wins as possible to try and cut that 49-point gap in the championship. This is a battle between number 2 and number 20. That's Jack Nixon and Swan. They were fighting for podiums yesterday. Charlie Farrer's just got away from that group. On the last lap, actually, Farrer not too far away in terms of his lap times. Out of Murray's they go onto the centre straight to tick off another lap. It is 23 Horsemen that leads from Fenton Seabright, although Seabright has got so much speed down the start finish, straight in the slipstream, and he's quick into Ritchie's corner as well. Is he going to line up another move here into turn 1? Yes, he is. The door's left open, and through goes Fenton Seabright. Seems to be his favourite move for overtaking, just into turn 1, Ritchie's corner. It's a fast right-hander as well. Double apex into Wilson corner, then back on themselves, down up towards Palmer corner, turn 3. Scott Ogden went across the line in 7th, so he's got ahead of Rhys Irwin. He's still 6 seconds off the leaders. He's 2.7 seconds off Brian Hart. Claridge just a bit further down now. I just want to check on him because he got a decent lap last time. He was down in 14th, so it's not going to threaten anyone. That's Charlie Farrer then. He's in 3rd. Then it's Nixon. Just going a bit wide on exit there was Nixon. Scott Swan just behind him, number 20. Brian Hart, who crashed out of 2nd yesterday, number 9. He's there in 6th place, and then it's about 2.5 seconds back to Scott Ogden, who at the moment is on the 7th place, which would be 9 points. With Cameron Horseman, of course, on at the moment for a potential 20 points, or maybe even 25, would be into single digits for the championship standings going into Brno. There'll be 4 races left after this one. Seabright still has the advantage from Horseman for now. Lapping in the low 2:03s right now. Cameron Horseman with the fastest lap. Seabright it is, though, that just holds the advantage at the moment. Putting a hell of a lot of energy into that front tyre there through the bomb hole as they now come around Coram Curve. And that will be fast on these little motorcycles. This is where Cameron Horseman is really, really quick, though. He's good on the brakes down into Murray's. Can he, crucially, though, get into the slipstream? Of the two, he is slightly taller, so he'll need all the slipstream he can get. Now, is this going to be a bit of a rehearsal as he gets into the slipstream, comes across the line? He's now got that inside line into turn 1, but Seabright is so late on the brakes, there's no room there. Seabright it is that still leads this one from Horseman. Then Farrer, Nixon, Swan, Hart, Ogden. Ogden has just put in the fastest lap of the race, though. Scott Ogden, number 4, the British Talent Cup championship leader in 7th. He's halved that gap to Brian Hart in 6th place, and that group, of course, crucially, all look like they're fighting for a top 5 finish. Charlie Farrer is only a 10th clear as well, so Scott Ogden, his ambition here, just in the background of that group, is to try and fight for another podium. Now, that would be an excellent achievement in a race like this. We're almost at the halfway point. The 2 leaders go through then, and here are the group. There's Farrer, Swan, Nixon, and there is Ogden. He is eating up that gap, and he'll know that there's a podium on here. Charlie Farrer, who had just got away in 3rd, has just been making a couple of little errors here and there. And so there's an opportunity for Ogden who's currently in 7th, to try and take 3rd, and that really would help him out in the championship. In fact, it would mean he would hold on to his championship lead if he were to get that 3rd place. So, onto the back straight we go again. Once more, Horseman strong, down the Bentley straight and into Brundle corner. This is where Horseman seems to have the advantage, and it's the first couple of sectors where Fenton Seabright prevails. Up towards the bomb hole once more, it is Horseman from Seabright now. 25 points on offer here for Horseman. What a win this would be for him. Second in the last couple of races. We now drop down into Murray's, and there's that big group of riders battling for 3rd, and look at Scott Ogden just rolling it round the outside of Brian Hart into Murray's corner. It seems as though it's just a matter of time before Scott Ogden makes his way through to the front of this group. I'm going to keep a check on his lap times as well. He had the fastest lap of the race last time out. At the front, it's still Horseman from Seabright. Across the line again, a 2:02.4 from Scott Ogden. That's almost a second quicker than these two guys out front. Ogden will carve his way through into the top 3, provided he doesn't do anything too silly. That's a lovely move, though, from Ogden, under braking into Wilson corner. That puts him then up into 5th place now. So he's just got Scott Swan and Jack Nixon to deal with, and Charlie Farrer to deal with. So, 6 laps completed. We're at the halfway stage of this race. There is Scott Swan, just up ahead of Scott Ogden. Out front, it's still Seabright and Horseman. Ogden has taken a couple of seconds actually out of the outright lead. If he could get to the front of this group, he might make the 2 guys out front sweat. It would be the win of the season if he was able to pull that off. I don't think it's going to quite happen right now, but you just never know in motorcycle racing. Here he is there. He's going to get brilliant slipstream onto the Bentley straight here. In fact, he's going to get 2 in 1. Scott Ogden might try and take 2 places here in 1. He pulls past number 20, Scott Swan. He's got Charlie Farrer there as well. The 2 leaders are already under the bridge and heading into Brundle corner. Scott Swan is now trying to make a move on Charlie Farrer, so Scott Ogden just has to check himself slightly through Brundle, flick it right into Nelson corner, up towards the bomb hole. Scott Ogden knows that there's a brilliant opportunity here of 16 important points in the championship. Into Coram Curve we go, and Ogden's going to run it wide again around the outside. Surely not past 2 of them. That would be unbelievable. What a brilliant overtake that was from Scott Ogden. He gets past Charlie Farrer then, who's dropped down now to 5th place. Onto the start finish straight we go. The leaders are about to go across the line. Here is Scott Swan in 3rd place, but for how much longer? Looks like Ogden and Farrer are going to go either side of him. Horseman it is that still leads from Seabright out front. There is Charlie Farrer. He gets through on the slipstream. Scott Ogden, though, is going to be trying late on the brakes. He is into Ritchie's corner. He's in 4th place, and he's surely now going to line up the move into Wilson corner. He's been really strong here throughout the race so far. Down into Wilson corner. He's through. So Scott Ogden, what can you do from 3rd place? From 19th on the grid once more, he's made it through into 3rd. He gives the rear end of his bike a little tap to say to the rest of them, stick with me, and I'll bring you to these leaders. Although, look at that gap, that's huge. It's almost 5 seconds. So, it is Seabright that leads from Horseman. So we've got a rider down. That's at the hairpin. Can't quite get it. It's Davis who's gone down. Davis has gone, so he trudges away. So, number 13. Front wheel on rear wheel. That never works out on the exit there of Wilson corner. Number 18 then going down. It's a shame for Davis. So, we're on lap 8 of 14. Horseman leads from Fenton Seabright. Scott Ogden, since he's got into 3rd, has cleared away from the advances of Farrer and Swan. Now, what will he do here? It would be silly of him to make a mistake from here. 16 points from 19th on the grid would do nicely. He'd hold on to his championship lead heading over to the Czech Republic in 2 weeks' time. But I will keep a big eye on the lap times in a moment to see each lap what he's pulling in on Horseman and Seabright, because if he sees that gap coming down himself, It just looks way too big. I can't see that happening. It looks like a straight fight between these two. Of course, if these two have a proper scrap out now for the race win, which is inevitably going to happen, it might give Ogden a chance late on. The gap is 5 seconds, though. Scott Ogden, a 2:03 flat. It was only a tenth quicker than the two leaders last time out, so looks unlikely to happen unless something spectacular happens between these two. Horseman then, with Scott Ogden now in third, needs the 25 points. So 23 horsemen from Seabright. In the background there is Scott Ogden, number 4. Then that big battle for 4th. Farah, Swan, Nixon, Hart. That's Brian Hart, by the way, number 9. Jack Hart. Oh dear, who's that that's gone down? There's 2 bikes again that have gone down. One more angry than the other. Oh, look at who that is. Number 8, I think Ed O'Shea is one of them. And Claridge. It's O'Shea and Claridge that have gone down. They were both in the scrap for 10th place. Let's see what's happened here again. It's Wilson Corner that's catching a few out, isn't it? Around and out. Oh, it's just, there's not a lot of room there. In fact, the rider that caused the collision is still on board. And the blame's going to the wrong rider here. So Ed O'Shea, well, that's nice to see. A big hug there from the two of them. When they watch this back, they'll realise that it's not even their fault. Unfortunately, that is just the nature of Wilson Corner when there's 3 trying to make it into the corner at the same time. Out front, though, around Coram Curve, this is the battle for the race lead. Cameron Horseman leads. Second in the British Talent Cup. Fenton Seabright, who's third overall, 49 points down on Ogden. He'll want the win as well. In the background there at Murray's is Scott Ogden, and who's gone down? That's number 5 who's gone down. That's Jones. He was just outside the points. Looks like the wind's been taken out of his sails a bit. He was just inside the points, Oshan Jones, younger brother to Dan Jones, who of course was in the Red Bull Rookies last season. And on lap 10 of 14, it's still Horseman that leads from Seabright. You just get the feeling, don't you, that Seabright here is just getting a good look at Cameron Horseman. Where am I strong? Where can I make the move? Horseman is particularly strong in Sector 3. Let's have a look and see what happens to Oshan Jones here. He looks like he's a bit hurt. Just flicking it through into, oh dear, high side there, coming out of Nelson Corner. Hopefully the Welsh rider is going to be okay after that one. Horseman still out front. Seabright in second. The gap back to Ogden is still just under 5 seconds, but it's just too much to bridge. Ogden will wave the white flag in terms of trying to fight for a race win. He'll happily take 3rd place. Here is number 4. This would be again another podium. It would be 8 out of 8, and from 19th on the grid yesterday, he'd have chopped your arm off if you'd have offered him that. Who's going to win, though, between these two, Horseman and Seabright? There's arguments to say that both need it. Horseman, of course, 17 down in the championship to Ogden. He would take 9 points over Ogden if he wins the race. That would bring the gap down to 8 going into the Czech Republic. And Seabright, likewise, he's 49 adrift. You could argue he probably needs it more to try and make the gap down to 40. But it's definitely these 3 that are in it for the British Talent Cup title in 2019. They have been supreme so far this season. There'll be 4 races to go after this one. There's only 14 riders left here in this race as well. A high rate of attrition. You finish the race, you're on for some points. Across the line we go there then for Horseman and Fenton Seabright. Seabright's just biding his time here. He's just holding back a bit. He's going to wait for a lunge late on. This could be really clever tactics, actually. He might even know that he's got Scott Ogden behind him, who'd be more than happy to pick up the pieces should it all go wrong. Meanwhile, behind Scott Ogden, decent battle still for 4th place. Charlie Farah, number 19, in front of that one. Here they all are. There is the red helmet, number 19 of Farah, ahead of Nixon, number 2, Swan, number 20, and Brian Hart, number 9. They'd all be hoping, of course, that this was a battle for a podium, but still some big points on offer. In fact, it won't surprise you to learn that the battle for 4th actually in the championship is just as close as the scrap on circuit right now between Nixon Hart, Rhys Irwin, Scott Swan, Brian Hart and Charlie Farah. There's only 20 points between 6 or 7 riders there in the scrap for 4th in the British Talent Cup standings. Farah at the moment in 4th place. He's down in 9th in the championship, so he'll probably want that one. Anyway, back to the front we go. Still Seabright just shadowing Cameron Horseman. Has he got a couple of aces up his sleeve, waiting for the right moment to pounce, leaving Cameron Horseman with no chance to reply. It's interesting through the different sectors. It seems that Fenton Seabright is faster through sector 1, Horseman through sector 2, Horseman again through sector 3, and then Seabright through the final sector, which of course is the most crucial here. Seabright has got a lot of speed coming around Coram Curve, and if he could get into the slipstream, oh blimey, tell you what, Fenton Seabright there, he really is testing out that Dunlop front tyre. More than a few wobbles around there. Cameron Horseman then, is he going to use this then as an opportunity to try and pull away? There'll only be a few laps left soon. We'll start lap 12 of 14. Across the line, good lap back for the Cameron Horseman, under pressure at 2:02.828. That's his fastest lap of the race. A 2:03 for Fenton Seabright. In the background, Ogden still in 3rd, 5.3 adrift. He's settled for that now. He's happy. So it's a scrap for 1st, and it's a scrap for 4th. Farah still in front of that group, fighting for 4th place. So, when will Fenton Seabright pounce? Does he time it well? He's spent now, what, a good 5 or 6 laps looking at the strong and weak points of Cameron Horseman ahead of him. He'll know where there's an opportunity. He also knows where Cameron Horseman is strong as well, and that's just going into Brundle Corner. He's just staying in touch right now. Crucial points at stake here. Both of these guys had to finish ahead of Scott Ogden. It looks like that job is going to be done, provided they both stay upright. So the championship gap will be cut, but in what order? There's going to be some big celebrations for whoever wins this race, because they'll know how important it is with 4 races to go. As we mentioned before, 2 weeks until Czech Republic, and then the British Grand Prix later in the year. Silverstone is where the British Talent Cup is rounded up. In the background, Scott Ogden, well, he could really do no more from 19th on the grid. He's been superb. Again, through Brundle and Nelson, Seabright just looks like he's got a little bit in the bag. Now, this is where Seabright struggled a bit a moment ago, around the bomb hole and now into Coram Curve. This is where the front end was just being stretched by Fenton Seabright. Again, a few wobbles, there's a couple of bumps through that corner, but this time much cleaner. Fenton Seabright will of course be trying to work out whether or not it's possible to drag Horseman to the line. It doesn't look like it is on this occasion, as we come across the line then to start lap 13 of 14. There's Ogden in what is now a lonely 3rd place, and this is the battle for 4th, which has changed a little. Number 20 then, Scott Swan, has gone through ahead of Charlie Farah. So number 20 was at the front of that group. Charlie Farah comes through. Jack Nixon, number 2, is still there, as is Brian Hart. Behind those, the Irish rider Rhys Irwin has had a much stronger race today than he had yesterday. Jack Hart then is in 9th. Corey Tinker in 10th place. And then it's Atkins, Collins, Shelton and Harry Lee. The 14 riders out on circuit at the moment. 4 riders have dropped out of this one so far. Jones, Claridge, O'Shea and Davis. Still no change at the front. Fenton Seabright here. Is this a tactic that is going to pay off? Because he's waiting until the final lap for the fireworks. But you just don't know whether or not Cameron Horseman still has a little bit left in the tank either. So let's see what happens now. Seabright has got to be quick through these right-handers that lead onto the back straight. Crucial for his race. This is where it's got to happen. He's got to get into the slipstream. He's not close enough on this lap. Looks like he's going to leave it until the final lap here, Fenton Seabright. Scott Ogden will take 3rd place by the looks of things. Again, still no change coming into Brundle and Nelson. Just about a 10th between them. So up towards the bomb hole we go. a very close race, but pretty uneventful in the last 6 or 7 laps so far, because we're just waiting to see what punch can be landed here by Fenton Seabright. But luckily for us, you wait no more, because as they exit Murray's, the British Talent Cup is going to come to a conclusion at Snettertone here. We begin the final lap of the race. This is now where Fenton Seabright is really strong into turn 1. He has been all race. Is he going to try and pounce into turn 1 and then pull the pin and ask questions of Cameron Horseman? No, not into turn 1. So it's for now, as you were, Horseman from Seabright. In the background is still Ogden in third. There'll be a good battle for fourth. We'll catch up with that later, but it's all about this one. Horseman still then into turn 2. Has the advantage around Wilson Corner, so nothing going there for Fenton Seabright. He obviously knows where he wants to make the move. Into Palmer Corner. Is he close enough now to get in the slipstream for a move into Agostini? It doesn't look like it from that angle. Braking now into the tight left-hander. No, he stays put. So we're a quarter of the way round this final lap, and Cameron Horseman at the moment still just about in front, and he's got, what, a good couple of tenths there as well. Crucial couple of corners coming up for Seabright now. He's got to try and get into the bubble, into the slipstream, onto the Bentley straight. He's carrying a lot of corner speed there. That was nicely done from Seabright around Oggies. Now into Williams Corner, and he's got some good speed there as well. It's now all about the slipstream then on the Bentley straight. Can he get close enough? Horseman himself got a good bit of drive there onto the back straight as well. Seabright trying to tuck himself into that Honda NSF 250R. You can't see him at the moment. He pops out of the slipstream. Who's the latest on the brake? Seabright then does go through. Is it too soon? He makes his move into Brundle and Nelson up towards the bomb hole. Cameron Horseman then has just got to get the speed now around Coram Curve if he wants to win this one. Seabright so far, has he timed it to perfection? We're coming up to Coram Curve now, and Horseman's got some brilliant speed. He's going to try and line it up for an inside move into Murray's Corner. Coming into the last lap now, is he close enough? No, a bit of a wobble on the front end there from Seabright. It's going to be a race to the checkered flag. Huge high side! Huge high side! Fenton Seabright goes down. Cameron Horseman has to take to the grass. He rejoins, and he is going to win. He's going to win here and take 25 brilliant points. Fenton Seabright Championship is over as a result of that. Let's have a look and see who finishes second. It is Scott Ogden. Fenton Seabright still down on the grass there. I hope he's okay. This means it's going to be a podium also for Charlie Farrer. He inherits third place. Scott Swan takes fourth place. It's then fifth for Nixon. Hart, Irwin, Jack Hart then follows as well, and this is a big battle as well. Battle for 10th place. Corey Tinker at the moment in front of that one, but this is going to go down to a slipstream battle as well. Just in the background there, number 17 as well, Shelton, and across the line, Torrin Collins can't quite make it. Tinker takes 9th, Collins takes 10th. Then it's Atkins and Shelton. Well, what a disaster on the exit of the final corner. Now, Fenton Seabright had a bit of a wobble going into the final corner on the front end. So just watch the front end here as he makes his way in. A bit of a twitch. He's got a tight entry on the exit. He's just asking a bit too much. His back end's gone out. Cameron Horseman actually does a good job to avoid him and stay upright. Fenton Seabright's third crash of the British Talent Cup. And unfortunately, that's curtains for his championship. What a shame for him. He was desperate not to get slipstream basically to the line here. So as he comes through Murray's Corner, just on the gas too much, and then just for good measure, he gets clobbered by his bike as well right at the end. Cameron Horseman rejoins circuit. He goes on to take the victory. Cameron Horseman then takes his first win in a while. It's another important victory though. A 5-point fall he takes on Scott Ogden, who could thank his lucky stars really from 19th on the grid. He finishes in second. That means there will be 12 points in it for the British Talent Cup with 4 races to go, going into Brno in the Czech Republic in 2 weeks' time. And it looks like now a championship battle between 3 is down to 2 after that crash from Fenton Seabright. Charlie Farrer, great to see him back on the podium again. That will help his championship out quite a lot. He was down in 9th overall, so that might just lift him somewhere near the top 6 in the championship. A big look over there to see whether Fenton Seabright was all right there from Cameron Horseman, which was nice to see just as they exit Murray's corner. So they make their way then into Parc Fermé. 25 points goes the way of Cameron Horseman. Welcome Jan, number 15, baby rider on board. So, into Parc Fermé then, Cameron Horseman, 25 important points for him. Scott Ogden back on the podium. That's 8 podiums in 8 races. That's outstanding. And there's the message then that Cameron's been given. I don't know who Jan is, so I can't really add anything to that. But welcome anyway. There is Scott Ogden, and we're just waiting now to welcome Farah into Parc Fermé. Charlie Farah, is he aware that he's actually taken 3rd place? Yes, he is. Here he comes then, there'll be a big smile on his face there. That's a really good job from Charlie Farah. 8th on the grid he started, he was 6th yesterday. Big hugs there as well. It's been a long time coming, that podium. He should have been on the top 3 steps a few rounds ago, to be honest, and it didn't quite work out at Donington Park in the damp, where he threw away 2 great opportunities to take race victories. There is Horseman then, 12 points in it. Looks like it's going to go all the way to the final round at Silverstone, doesn't it? Will be new to them all, though, in Brno. None of them will have been at that circuit before. Let's have a look then at the classification here at Snettertone for race 2 in the British Talent Cup. Cameron Horseman then takes victory after the crash from Fenton Seabright. Scott Ogden takes 2nd place. A good ride from him from 19th on the grid. Farah back on the podium. He was 3rd ahead of Scott Swan. Jack Nixon was 5th. Brian Hart was ahead of Rhys Irwin in the fight for 6th place. Jack Hart finished 8th, and Corey Tinker, a solid 9th there for him. Torrin Collins was 10th. Then it was Zach Shelton, Charlie Atkins, Harry Lee, and Fenton Seabright there is classified in 14th, but I don't think that that will be counted as any points for him. He will be classified as a DNF. Claridge out of the race, likewise O'Shea, Oshan Jones and Jamie Davis. So then, a 2-way fight for the British Talent Cup in 2019. Let's look at the championship standings. With 4 races to go as they head to Brno. Scott Ogden, with that 2nd place, maintains the lead overall. 12 points clear then of Cameron Horseman. Still 100 points available, of course, so mathematically speaking, everyone on that page could still win it, but it looks like it's just between those 2. Fenton Seabright will be ruining what just happened there at the final corner. He's 3rd. Jack Hart then 4th, then it's Scott Swan, Jack Nixon, Rhys Irwin. Charlie Farah with his 3rd place does inch closer to that top 6 overall. Brian Hart 9th, and then it's Charlie Atkins in 10th. He stays in the same spot as he started this morning. Harvey Claridge 11th, then Torrin Collins, Jamie Davis, Corey Tinker 14th in the championship. He moves up 1 spot ahead of Jamie Lyon, then Elliot Pinson, Oshan Jones and Zach Shelton. There you can see Scott Ogden just on the right, walking away. That's Charlie Farah. Big smile on his face, of course, back on the podium at long last, the 17-year-old. Ogden and Horseman have been locked in battle throughout 2019 so far. It looks set to stay that way going into Brno. Ogden, I think if you were to offer him 36 points from a possible 50 from 19th on the grid, he'd take that for sure. Here's Charlie Farah then onto the podium. The rider from Sunderland takes a 3rd place finish. Scott Ogden, the championship leader, rider from Doncaster, 15-year-old, brilliant ride from him. He takes 2nd, but it is Red Hills Cameron Horseman, the 18-year-old, who was 6th overall in this championship last year. It looks like he's going to be fighting for the title all the way to the end here in 2019. Dunlop representatives handing over the trophies for the top 3. And then, of course, we await the winner's trophy for Cameron Horseman and the national anthem for race winner Horseman. congratulations there to Cameron Horseman, Scott Ogden and Charlie Farrer. And that concludes the British Talent Cup action from Snettertone. The next race then, as we mentioned, round 5. That's Brno in the Czech Republic, 3rd and 4th of August. They're racing alongside the MotoGP World Championship for the first time in 2019. It's a great opportunity for them to race up alongside the world's finest. And let's look back at the highlights. Seabright started.